I would have really liked the Zilean, but as you rightly said, I think the Yuumi does offer a strong scaling, and as you rightly said, it also complements a lot of high mobility champions.
Yeah.
And against a Rakan lane, it's going to be difficult to punish. He's not the most aggressive of laners, and he's not a champion that usually dominates in the 2 versus 2, so Yuumi can kind of play quite safe alongside the Jhin.
And I think one of the things that's also really cool is that the Yuumi kind of is a bit of a dive buddy here for Oner and Faker, right? Yeah. It allows you to kind of go forward with 3, diving in towards some of these carries. My main concern for T1 is just what is Zeus going to be able to get done in this top lane? If he cannot create a large advantage against this Gwen, we know that Gwen is going to have the run in the side lane. I'm expecting it to be Ghost Gwen again, like it was in game number 1, where it was, I believe, 13-0 on that Gwen for Bin. So that is that kind of inevitable feeling, but maybe they're feeling, hey, with the Yuumi, we get that additional scaling, and our mid-jungle is going to be that much stronger. The Jhin could be that much stronger that the Gwen maybe isn't going to run over the game.
It is in game 5s where all of the pressure is on and teams can often falter. The pressure can get to you, the execution, your confidence. You don't want to be the player that makes the mistake that loses your team the game. But these are veteran organizations. They are led by the veteran players in Xiaohu, Ming, and Faker. And it's up to the players behind these veterans to feel confident in their leaders to be able to execute and bring their team to victory.
And it's so interesting because I completely agree. In a lot of these cases, teams can start to play a little bit too defensive, right? They're scared to make that mistake. And oftentimes, in those situations, it is the player who has the confidence to make the play, to go for the big move that can actually come out on top. That sometimes being the aggressor can often really work in your favor. Ming starting sweeper here, wanting to play to clear out that brush. In melee versus range, having side brush advantage with a ward is really, really big. So Ming trying to make sure that the Jayce does not have that.
You see Oner and Keria switching over to sweepers as well. Of course, Wei cannot do that. It means that you have a little bit more vision control as T1 in the early game if you can catch out some of those wards. Wei needs his ward to be able to safeguard forward, to be able to look for some of those gank paths. And so far, we have had a back-and-forth series, both RNG and T1 landing punches. The early game has often dictated who will be able to take the lead later on. So this game is for everything. Both these teams fighting for their 3rd title here at MSI.
Man, you just have to love how scrappy these guys. Every single game, level 1 starts, they're trading. They're not going for minions. They're just going right at each other.
They're just trying to proc that electrocute, get it on cooldown sooner so you can proc the electrocute again. Right? It's really important, especially in Ahri lanes, that you're able to go for early skirmishes, but Zeus doing the same thing alongside being good trade for Zeus overall. Able to use the phase rush to create a big enough gap, which means that now he's got a big health advantage. Goes back to the range form, chips away at Bin once again. And notice he is running the biscuits, so he will have that small health advantage. And Zeus playing this 1v1 very well.
I just love that little bit of tech. Oh, Xiaohu going forward is going to proc the electrocute. But yeah, you just start acceleration gate because then when Bin goes forward,
you can't get on. Keria cannot jump back onto Gumayusi. The chase is on. The ignite is ticking, and Ming will claim first blood.
And in game 5, when you have to step up, it is RNG's bot lane that find a 2 versus 2 kill. A very narrow window to punish, but RNG strike.
Absolutely. They're going in, they get 2 first.
Gumayusi, nowhere for him to go. Does still have the flash. Will try and use it away from this battle dance. Gala, though, gets the reset for the jump forward. And it's all RNG in the bottom side of the map. Gumayusi, though, survives in the midst of the minions now. Ming has to be careful. Faker jumped on, dodges away from the Sonic Wave. The charm will connect, but he will fall as well.
Oh my god, Ming tried to give the kill to Gala. He could have taken that with one last auto there. I'm not sure if that was a fleet proc that kind of made them miscalculate. Maybe the fleet came up at the last second there and got that little bit of healing out. Oner gonna look.
Look at the Xiaohu will get him once again. Flash forward, decimating, strike enough.
How reminiscent of that is that of that top earlier game of the top lane play, flashing past Wei to kill off a soul laner. Of course, that was on Bin, not Xiaohu, but very reminiscent. And not getting that kill is actually so impactful for bot lane because if Gala gets that, like, that is massive. Going back with a better base, denying the wave. Instead, Gumayusi able to stay around. He's going to actually have the much better base himself. We can watch this one more time. In with the W, knocks him up, so Keria cannot reattach. The flash forward to get that 4th hit on the explosive charge. And then the... Somebody call Peta!
The googly eyes! Meanwhile, in mid, while that action was happening in the bot side, Faker got collapsed on. Level 2,
there was
Ahri.
a ward on the Razor Beaks. I think they spotted.
Very weak.
There was no ping, so he may have walked, close
just
enough.
Around it,
Yeah,
yeah.
Flash W, that was a good play from Xiaohu, leveraging the level advantage that he had to force the Suns out. And then Faker, he wants to try and get that level 3. Yeah, you can see what... a bit of an overstep, truth be told, by Faker there.
Oh,
He ends up getting perked, but now RNG on the offensive once again.
Zeus has flash, and he has Oner here as well. Oner will try and put the damage down to Xiaohu. No glacial path available for the Lissandra right now. Ring of Frost, though. Zeus going to try and get away, but you can't when there are 3 members of RNG surrounding you.
I love the confidence from RNG there, just to force Xiaohu actually TPing back. He can get charmed. Ooh. Okay, almost had the timing. I was going to say, when you're TPing in that low against an Ahri, if Faker had the pixel perfect timing, you could actually die there. There's no ultimate, there's no stasis at this point to defend yourself. So Faker will at the very least get a little bit of chip damage down, deny maybe a minion or two.
And we talked about how in Game 5s, teams can often feel the overwhelming pressure, the responsibility that you have to your team. But it feels like the RNG in this Game 5 has just kicked it up a gear. They are not slowing down at all. 2v2s going all in. Mid-jungle, not only are they attacking Faker, but they're also roaming towards the top side of the map. And they are challenging T1 in the early game. The best early game team in the world. And RNG is saying, no, not today. We're going to take you on.
Absolutely. And you can see something we didn't get to talk about. Gumayusi and Keria both running exhaust. So it is double exhaust in the bottom lane there, which is more atypical, but does scale very, very well. And also going for a very defensive build here, as Wei should just be able to hop out. Because it's a Tabby's rush. You know, you do see Swifty's rush a lot more commonly, but very, very defensive here. You know, I have some concerns about how effective that's going to be in the later stages. I do think it's great to stop the all-ins from Gala now, but a lot of the damage is magic, right? When you're thinking about even some of the damage, you know, from Trist. But of course, Xiaohu and Bin are going to be the big threats, I feel like, to that backline.
For the moment, though, Gumayusi just trying to survive at the laning phase. Is up in CS. Wei and Xiaohu continue to move around the map, unlocking that mid lane. It's something we've talked about throughout the entire series. Faker has no plans. He gets caught in the frozen tomb. Xiaohu level 6 is enough, and Faker 2 deaths by the 6-minute mark.
This mid-jungle is just so lethal. The setup with Lissandra and the damage from Lee Sin is devastating, and Faker, the unkillable Demon King, finds himself with 2 deaths 6 minutes into the Game 5.
And I'm just so impressed by the summoner tracking, right? You know, right on the precipice of having that cleanse back, but RNG has the perfect timer. They go in, they get the kill right on the level up from Xiaohu. It's the same thing earlier. We've seen these plays happen so many times where it was the wraparound on that one, right as Xiaohu actually hit 6. They found that dive. And they're so good at playing around it. And Wei, I feel like, has just been the biggest difference in this series. He has been unreal. Game after game after game, intelligent pathing, covering his laters at the right time, team fighting incredibly well. He has just been outstanding.
You know what I'll say? LPL, Lee Sins, they're just synonymous with one another.
They hit different, man. They just hit different, and they hit every Q as well.
And every kick, often into the face, and usually whoever gets kicked into everyone else. And it's a terrifying prospect, and Wei living up to the legacy of LPL Lee Sin players for sure. RNG find themselves 4 kills to 1. The goal lead only 1,000. Bear that in mind. This goal lead is definitely repairable from the side of T1, and I wouldn't count them out just yet. But this early game heavily going in the favor of RNG for now.
Yeah, you absolutely don't want to count them out. And T1 looking towards topside, potentially trying to pull off a dive here on Bin. I believe he did just use the Shroud, so wouldn't have that available. And this could be a play they look for, but Wei is pathing up here and is 6 and has ulti.
No TP for Xiaohu. He shoves in the mid wave. Now he's on his way up here. Minion wave, not in the best of shapes. Cannon minion, gonna tank it up. Faker and Oner, you feel like they want to disengage this. They don't know where Xiaohu is.
They do know Lee is here. They spotted him out on that control ward by the blue buff. So they're just wasting time. They're just watching Bin farm right now.
Go, maybe, no. I thought they might go when they saw Wei actually move down, but instead, Xiaohu gets pushed mid, so yeah, they're just hesitating. I think they were pretty sure that Wei was going to step forward, but he played so respectfully.
Oh, the collapse from RNG. Are they going to go for it here?
Faker trying to dodge away from any possible Sonic Wave. Bot lane's on their way up as well. Gumayusi and Keria move to the mid lane, as do Ming and Gala. Nothing really happens off towards the top side. Importantly, Faker lost about 2 waves to the mid tier 1.
Again, just it feels like it's played perfectly by Wei. If you actually walk over to the tower, you're going to get intercepted on your way over and potentially burst down. So he stays in range that if they go for a dive, he's right there.
Gumayusi has flash. Can try and use it. Of course, the zoomies from Yuumi do speed you up, and that's exactly why Gumayusi was able to walk out of that one.
They also have that bonus movement speed from the fleet footwork too. Gumayusi, a speedy guy.
Thought you were going to hit us with the Goomy as well. You know,
no.
The zoomies from Yuumi speed up the Goomy.
Game 5 of MSI Finals.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Please don't fire me. I like casting League of Legends.
I think you're good. You're a world champion, so you'll be fine. This will be the first herald secured by RNG. and completely uncontested. It's something that has been a big point of contention throughout this series, but T1's early game is only going to fall further and further away from them as RNG will leverage this to, it looks like, secure the top tier 1.
Yeah, they're looking to press in on this, and that's so concerning for Zeus in a matchup where you're going to get outscaled. You know, if you are falling down behind, of course, Bin is not the beneficiary of all this plate goal, but still, the more you can keep Zeus down, the faster he's going to get outscaled by Bin as Ming's looking in.
Looking for Oner, who's able to dodge away. Re-engage a possibility. Xiaohu blast coned over the wall.
And that was actually the clone, I think, that Xiaohu ulted. So really nice timing there on the W from Oner. But again, Bin down towards that bottom side, you know, will be collecting this farm. My big concern, my big question mark for T1 is how do they answer Bin in the side lane if he can get to that really strong point? I do think they have great scaling across the rest of their 4 positions. And Jayce can be a strong team fighter. It just doesn't really match what Gwen can do in the side lane, especially with Ghost.
It's a concerning spot for T1, for sure.
A great spot for RNG, though.
Of course. And a reminder, both of these teams currently hold 2 MSI titles. They are fighting for the first team in League of Legends history to be a 3-time MSI holder. And for RNG, this could be a back-to-back MSI win. The only other organization to achieve such a feat was T1, 2016 and 2017. So a lot on the line, a lot of pride for 2 of League of Legends' most historic orgs and players. And for now, RNG are dominating the early game.
And it is worth noting, you know, Zeus walked into mid lane. I saw Gathering Storm tick over. So he is at least going scaling runes. You know, he is going the tier build here. So he is going to have some more scaling, you know, than maybe some of the Jayces who really index towards early game heavily. So that could help to kind of keep him more relevant in the matchup against Bin. You're really looking for the Riftmaker timing. You know, if Bin can get Riftmaker at a good time, that's when the 1v1 really does start to swing. But I just have to give credit Bin. Like he's been so adept at actually picking up a lot of these farm, you know, utilizing that Shroud very, very effectively to kind of get the maximum out of it every single time and just stay really healthy to the point where T1 can't really hammer home any sort of an advantage and Zeus can't really get much more damage on the tower.
Of course, Bin has been in this sort of position before at Worlds 2020. He was with Suning and lost to Damwon Kia, one of those few LCK victories in the last few years. And I'm sure he has a lot of weight on his shoulders to make sure that today he steps up and step up. He has as he catches out Zeus. Zeus can get the knockback. Bin will just keep him in the area, stop that recall happening. Rift Hell put down in the mid lane. This gold is going to be funneled over to Xiaohu and to Wei. You can see that 400 gold lead for Wei in the jungle, but in the mid lane, actually 700 in the advantage of Xiaohu as well.
Absolutely. Those early kills that they got on Faker really creating an edge there. And it does mean RNG going to grab their 2nd straight dragon here. So back to their winning ways, you know, what they've been able to accomplish. Great trade from Xiaohu.
Frozen Tomb cleanse out of Faker, Spirit Rush away. Oner's coming in. Xiaohu does still have the flash. Oner looking for the flash engage, but the Cyclone is flashed away.
That was really fast flash there from Xiaohu, not even getting knocked up by Oner. A great response from him.
Gala going to use the W in to try and get a bit of chip damage onto Gumayusi and Keria. They're looking for the dive.
Going all the way around, final chapter coming out. The root doesn't connect, but Ming is low, does have the quickness, has the flash. Wei trying to hold the wave. Curtains open. Gala should be able to tank this. Wei does hit the Sonic Wave, but won't go in with the kick. No minion wave there for him. Wei now not in the best of spots as Oner can come in from the side. Gumayusi trying to keep Wei interested. Xiaohu can move from the mid lane as well.
And you can't overchase though because there's still a Tristana pushing up towards this tower, so Wei will be able to back it out. Very well played though by the T1 bot lane. Diffusing that situation really calmly, not blowing any summoners. It does cost them double ultimates, but that was really well handled.
I very much agree, Azael. I think that T1's bot lane have done what they showcased, weathering the pressure storm. Of course, they did falter in the straight-up 2 versus 2. They lost Keria, but for the time being, they've managed to claw their way back in, and now Oner, with Keria on his back, are threatening this mid tower. Can they get a plate? Ooh, Xiaohu looking for that route onto Keria means that they could have gone for a collapse.
This is such typical support gameplay. You're like, if I get these autos on the tower, I get 20 gold, and I get closer towards getting my quest item. That's exactly what he's doing there. He wants the wards from his totem. He hasn't got it yet because they haven't been able to harass that much in lane. Usually, you can get it from auto attacks, you can get it from prowling projectile. Here we see Keria still without a vision item 14 minutes in.
I mean, he's had to respect the potential all-in from Ming. He died once in lane, and if you detach and get R flashed on immediately by Ming, you're going to die. So he has to play respectfully. But it's a great point, Medic, because, yeah, their vision is going to be much more limited. They're going to really heavily depend on pink wards because they have 3 sweepers and no sight zone on their support.
Makes it so much harder for you to play around these dragons as well. RNG already at 2 dragons up. There's still 3 minutes on the next one. Faker. Spirit rushes away, Frozen Zoom coming in, there's a quickness as well, and Faker has nowhere to go, no cleanse, no way out. RNG for the 3rd time in this game, shut out Faker.
Again, I mean, they just make it so easy. It looks so easy to actually play around cleanse, right? Earlier, trading back and forth very aggressively. When we saw Xiaohu have to trade flashes with Oner, they force the cleanse. They have the timer, they go for the play. They're so amazing at this, it's just insane.
And usually T1 would be able to ward the side, but they can't do it as Ming looks for Zeus underneath the tower. He's going to flash away. Ming will tank up a single tower shot as Oner and Keria are on their way. Gumayusi here as well. A long-range deadly flourish could be enough to catch out someone from RNG. Wei just short. Final chapter coming out. Dash away with a safeguard, but the deadly flourish won't be enough. The curtain call will help as Zeus takes the kill.
And T1 will finally get something back on the board, but what will it cost them? Yes, they're able to get that kill on to Wei,
They gotta dive.
and they may very well be able to get the tower, but here they go.
Call in the submarines, you're going for a dive. Gumayusi chasing forward here, Bin, no ghost. Does have the Hallowed Mist and will escape using it.
Of course, Gala securing the bot tower. T1 will exchange on the top. You can see the goal difference still very significant. About 3k in RNG's favor. Ming overdived a little bit on that top tower, meaning that he was forced to burn his flash to disengage. T1 with Gumayusi already on his way up towards the top side of the map, recognized that he could punish, and it ended up being RNG losing a little more than they bargained.
Yeah, just well played by Zeus, the early flash, very respectful, and then Ming having to flash out in retreat. T1 on the attack here, getting up there. Just needed to get in range. Great job by Oner, into the minions to bring Keria closer for the ultimate, to land that root, the shock blast from Zeus, hammering it home, getting the kill, and which was a shutdown as well on Wei. They take the tower as well, which is really, really nice, but it's solo gold for Gala on the other side, and that's something you always have to really track is the isolated gold all on your marksman is so much more effective than actually splitting it on the other side of the map for T1. And we can see that reflected in the items here. Both of these marksmen, on Mythic plus tier boots, but it's about 900 extra gold worth of stuff on Gala.
And look at the armor boots that have been picked up for Gala as well. He recognizes that, you know what, why have I got to be scared of Faker? Who cares if he charms me, you know?
Because Faker can 1v9 the game, that's why.
Done it in the past. He's not in the best of positions to do it this game, though. Azael 0-3. Control ward actually dodged by both Oner and Keria there. RNG have knowledge of the jungle support from T1.
Again, look at this vision being invested from RNG. They will have full vision control of the top side. Ward, ward, ward. Just the whole map littered with vision from RNG, leveraging the pressure that they have over the map in order to gain control and gain insight as to what T1 is trying to do.
And you can see T1 are going to kind of just leave Guma farming in mid, and it is Keria pairing up with Oner. It's going to be him and Oner, him and Faker, this really powerful diving duo who can threaten. And they're shutting out vision towards this top side to enable Zeus to really push it up. And now the root lands.
It's Rakan. He can dodge away. Has multiple ways of doing it, and he will escape.
I think the logic here from T1 was, well, you know what? We know that this dragon is exactly what RNG are going to play for. So instead, let's try and contest the mid wave, then let's attack, and then maybe we can secure this tier 2 tower in the top lane. But RNG were like, again, we can only send one person. You know, we'll just have Wei go solo the dragon, and then maybe our bot lane can contest, and they actually kept 2 people top. So T1 trying to make this cross map happen means that they end up not getting anything off the back of it.
And I'm really concerned now for T1's chances in this game. It is soul point, you're down gold. Generally, if all things are played even, you trade dragon advantage for gold advantage for the other team, right? But RNG have been able to get both through superior playmaking, through superior laning. So much of what they got done around mid lane really was the difference. They've shut down Faker so effectively this game. They took away the LeBlanc. They constantly attacked and taxed out his cleanse and punished him every single time he was missing it. So, Faker way pushed down. It is not the death cap Ahri even that he's building towards. So he pit stop there for some healing debuffs, and it's going to mean his damage is way lower than where you would normally expect it at this point in the game. And they really only have 4 minutes to get to their maximum amount of power, because in 4 minutes, RNG will get Mountain Soul. And I just feel if you give Mountain Soul over with this T1 comp that is very much about the upfront damage, that your chances at that championship are really starting to slip away.
RNG just playing the map so perfectly in this early game. They are very good at playing from behind in the early game. They're even better at playing from ahead. They do not give you a window of opportunity to attack as the Rift Herald comes down on the top side of the map. Faker just having to play defensively. Walking away from this, knows that his tower is forfeit. And although T1 do have some vision control towards that blue side of the jungle, RNG very willing just to continue to step up. RNG have never gone through T1 in a best of 5. They have lost the last 4 in a row. The last time they met was all the way back in 2017. But RNG are on the precipice, on the cusp of the back-to-back MSI titles and their 3rd title overall.
When we talk about the LPL's dominance, it's been a wide array of different teams. Invictus Gaming winning the World Championship in 2018, RNG winning MSI in 2018, EDG winning in last year. FPX, we've seen so many different rosters, so many different players come from the LPL and absolutely dominate. And RNG is getting close to becoming one of the most consistent international powerhouses, securing 3 international titles. If they're able to win this, we put them one step ahead of their LPL brothers.
Absolutely, and really would make them have to be considered one of the big favorites potentially for Worlds as well, looking towards that. And this RNG team, really building that consistency and trying to build a dynasty of their own here and stop T1 from beginning a new one here, with this young roster. It's going to come down to T1 trying to make plays here.
Finn has the Hallowed Myth, will pop it. Faker going in with the Spirit Rush as well. And you can see Zeus was on his way, but there was a ward in the bush.
She's so strong. Like, Faker does all the right things here. The collapse from T1, also good. But the moment that she goes immune, what can Faker do?
And honestly, I think for this next fight, it's time to buy stopwatches. It's time to buy, potions, get the maximum amount of power. Because I think this fight, if T1 loses it, that very likely decides the entire series. RNG are finishing those second items critically.
And of course, down by Xiaohu, they're just looking for the tower here. They won't quite get it. Faker and Oner able to defend it. RNG, though, starting to react.
Zeus.
Ward on the bush. Zeus going for Bin, looking for the 1v1, but Gala is there, and then Zeus realizes he can't take the trade. Frost out. Xiaohu not able to get away from the deadly flash, and the chase continues. Curtain calls, come down. Xiaohu will fall. Zeus surviving for as long as he can, but the needle work finds its mark. Eclipse will not save you now. Bin snips him down. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, the final chapter coming out as they look for Wei. Keria with a good slow. There's the exhaust coming out as well. Oner, Cyclone, a possibility. Does he have the Nimbus strike? Does he have the range? Cyclone under the tower. Wei looking for the kickback. Oner healed up with the zoomies. Teleport coming in now by Bin as RNG look to try and keep their jungler alive.
T1 getting very scrappy here. We have to track the cooldowns that were used. I think it's so smart that Xiaohu didn't spend anything there. They're going to try to look for a pick, but Bin will be backing it up. He has no TP, so he's got a base right now. And Xiaohu gonna have his ult, his flash, everything. He spent nothing there, just accepted that he was caught, accepted that he was gonna go down. Oner very likely will not have his ultimate for this big, potentially penultimate fight. Keria, I think it's gonna be a close thing for him as well. T1 feel like they are missing more of those critical cooldowns. They don't flash on Oner either. Bin is the only one who really spent much, him and Wei, and their ultimates are going to be back up, so this is very, very tough for T1. It's going to take some sort of a massive play for them to really be able to come out on top here.
T1 are in a very difficult position right now.
No vision on the bottom side.
You can see their itemization as well, sort of like strung together. RNG with 2 completed items on multiple members. The BF sword finish for Gala as well. They have the push in bot. They're contesting the wave in mid. The vision is being cleared out. And exactly, thank you, observers, for highlighting how little T1 can see. They are walking into the darkness, the abyss that is RNG. Someone has to face check. Faker will gain access into the river.
Faker looks for the jump to get out to Xiaohu, but Xiaohu has the frozen tomb to get out of it. Oner in the backline with the Cyclone trying to do what he can, but Ming with a 4-man charm. Keria dives off, but in goes Wei. The kickback onto Zeus. RNG just sweep the floor with T1, and you have to feel it's as good as done.
RNG get the fight. They try to find the pick on a Xiaohu. It's the charm flash, but they're not able to make it happen. Bin will solo the dragon here with Xiaohu coming in to help, so there will be 2 on that. They're moving up towards Baron already. RNG getting everything they need to close this one out. They left no doubt about it in that team fight. Kick flash from Wei was huge. And Xiaohu, as soon as he did not go down, T1 had just spent so much to try to take him out.
4 members fall to the fierceness of RNG. They will secure themselves the soul. That will be the Baron as well. A last-ditch TP effort from T1. Will this be enough to save them the game?
Oner's almost here.
Zeus looking for it as well. RNG on the Baron, but it is secured by Wei. Ming dumps over. and stops Gumayusi and Oner getting into the fight. T1 knew they had to do something, but they could not find their window.
It was a good try. Zeus, Shock Blast, brought that down to about 350 health, 370, right about that. But now RNG, everything they need here to close this one out. Let's watch it one more time. It was a great attempt from Faker. The charm flash onto Xiaohu. The call is burst him out before he can react, but they don't have the damage. Gumayusi is not there to follow up. If Gumayusi was in, perhaps they could make something happen. And then watch this from Wei, the engage from Ming, and then kick flash there, knocks him in. Zeus goes down, and so do the hopes of T1 in this game.
Incredibly well executed fight, and T1 doing what they can to find a win in the fight, but they were limited. Faker was shut down in the early game. He was relentlessly attacked by Xiaohu and Wei. Ming even got involved. They were just non-stop aggression towards that mid lane, and Faker, he's done what he could. He has tried as hard as possible, but it has not been enough in the face of RNG.
Faker's combo doesn't even get through the Mountain Soul shield right now on Ming. RNG unrelenting, pushing forward. Xiaohu looking for the Frozen Tomb, and there goes Ming once again onto the backline. The exhaust going down. Gumayusi so low. Keria with a good final chapter. A Cyclone onto the backline. Perhaps this is T1's hopes, but look at their hopes being dashed against the rocks. They have spent 5 years in the wilderness, and they're going to spend another few months at least. RNG, unrelenting, unstoppable, continue their advance.
RNG will do what few have been able to do before. They will match T1 in the back-to-back victories, and they will look to win MSI.
Xiaohu, the little tiger, has roared into life. The LPL continue their era of dominance, and they are leaving no one alive. It's RNG's world, and we're just living in it.
What a performance from RNG here across the series. So calm, so collected in all of their wins. Really looking dominant here against T1. Blue side winning every single game in this series. The draft meaning so much. But it was RNG playing around mid lane here. The mid jungle 2v2 in this one really meant everything. Wei and Xiaohu were incredible in this one, constantly pressuring Faker. I think Wei was really the difference maker across these 5 games.